Moi kaikki, it's Mikko. I'll tell you a few things about the overall structure of your upcoming A2 exam so that you can prepare accordingly. And these exams are different for each batch, so I will not go through like grading of individual tasks, just general level things that are the same for everyone here at NLRC. So, in case you don't know, the A2 level proficiency is what Finnish private healthcare companies, or at least clients of top, make, and so this is what they require. And they will not let you start working in Finland until you've passed this exam. But this is not a standardized exam. Like other Finnish employers or companies hiring for Finland might have different requirements and different ways to test those. This is just how NLRC does its A2 level exam. Okay, so the A2 exam here at NLRC consists of three parts: oral part, a recording part, and a written part. The oral part consists of 2 to 3 tasks that are done online. The recording part consists of 2 tasks, and then the written part has several sections: vocabulary, reading, writing, and listening. You are allowed to retake the A2 exam, so if you mess up, we will give you another opportunity. If you mess up that one as well, then you have to slide to a lower batch and review with them until you are allowed to take the exam for the third time. Okay, so the oral part. This is done on Discord with an instructor. It takes roughly 15 to 20 minutes depending on how much you chit chat, but this is not going to be an interview. You will be performing small scenarios with the instructor rather than sitting there for some Q&A. And these, like all these tasks in the A2, these vary from batch to batch. But just so that this is fair for everybody, you will get a grading rubric which tells you how you get points and what the tasks roughly are. And you get that at least the day before the oral exam, just so that you don't like have to bribe the first person taking the exam to tell you what they had to do there. And the focus in all of these tasks, as well as in the tasks in the entire exam, is getting stuff done in Finnish. So you get points for accomplishing communicative goals, not getting the grammar right. As long as you are comprehensible to a sympathetic first language speaker, you'll be just fine. Okay, here's the recording part. So the recording part is done individually under supervision. There will be one staff member from NLRC sitting in the room with you. And you will be given a simple scenario on a piece of paper in English, and after that you have 1 minute to prepare, and you may take notes and write stuff down if you so wish, but you are not allowed to use phone or a dictionary for this at this point. And once 1 minute is up or you are ready, you have to record a message or a voicemail to your friend in Finnish that addresses the issues mentioned in the scenario. For example, the scenario could be that your flatmate went somewhere and accidentally took your key, and you have to go to work in 2 hours, and you call your flatmate and leave them a message saying what happened and what they should do. Simple performances like that. And the last and the biggest part is the written part. This is also done in class under supervision. It consists of several parts, and each part has several tasks, and all of these things are timed, so there will be a time limit for each task. But nobody, as far as I recall, has ever complained about running out of time. Okay, listening tasks. So the listening mainly consists of multiple choice questions or true or false questions, and these are in English. And there will be a small number of open-ended questions, but they will not be like the questions in the book where you have to write about what you think people are saying and so on. These are just simple questions where you have to either reply with a phrase or you have to pick up a number or like listen for a number in the dialogue, like what time does the bus depart and so on. And these clips will be played twice, and many of them will be played 3 times at normal speed. Normal speed meaning the speed that you hear in the listening exercises in the book. Vocabulary tasks. These are not necessarily that much focused on functions. but they mainly cover common nouns and expressions in both A0 and A1 modules. So A0 is the Jooma Hoidan book, and A1 is Annema Hoidan book 1 and book 2. And some of these words you have to be able to use in context, meaning pick a reply that would work as an answer to this and this line, and then you have several options and you have to pick the one that makes the most sense. Or you may have to be able to name an umbrella term for a group of words, or you may have to be able to give one member of the category if you're given a category or umbrella term, like here, give an example of väri in Finnish. So any color in Finnish would do, so if you wrote sininen, that would be totally fine. Okay, and here are the reading tasks. These as well consist of multiple choice questions in English, but now also possibly in Finnish. And we try to make them about brief, actual, real-life genres or text that we made up that somewhat resembled those genres, simple news items, text messages, menus, schedules, and so on. Things that you could possibly run into in Finland during your first year there. So there will be no translation tasks. You will not be given a news article and asked to write the whole thing in English or vice versa. None of that. Okay, but what is the writing then about? So similar to the oral tasks, you have to get stuff done in Finnish. So you have to write brief written messages in colloquial Finnish if given an English prompt, like for example, text your boss that you'll be late for work, then say what time you will come and why you are going to be late. And then an important thing in the written part is the charting task. So you will be given a brief dialogue in English, exactly like the task 17 in the latest version of Annema Hoidan 2. And then you need to write several charting entries into the right category based on the dialogue. But the categories are given so you do not have to know how apuvälineet or ulkoiluhuomio are spelled out. They will be given for you already in the exam. This is how the points roughly go in the A2 exam. So speaking, including the recording part, gives you 35 points. Listening gives you 30. Vocabulary is 15 points, reading 20, and writing also 20 points. And to pass, you need 90 points out of 120, meaning you need 75% to pass the exam. Okay, what to review? I recommend that you download the latest version of Annema Hoidan 2 and check the A2 exam checklist for functions that we recommend that you master before taking the exam. This is in the book before the answer section, but you need the latest version of the book for it to be there. And of course, obviously review vocabulary, since you cannot do anything without it. And that is also specifically tested in the vocabulary and reading parts. And make sure that you know the basics that you need in spoken interactions, commands, suggestions, and most importantly, how to signal that you don't understand or that you need something repeated or something doesn't make sense, and so on. If the oral task was done face to face, then context-dependent pronouns like tää and toi would be important. This is a question that we get a lot. So what about grammar? Well, grammar is not particularly tested in the exam at all. And why is that so? Because in real life, the patients, the elderly, the co-workers at a nursing home, they don't really care if you know what an impersonal singular necessity clause is, or if you can get all the past tense forms of Finnish verbs correctly. What they want or what they expect and need from you is that you have the courage to speak, you have fluency for basic interactional sequences, and you have muscle memory for somewhat comprehensible sound production. They will correct you if something is totally out of place, but most of the people you'll be dealing with are sympathetic listeners who want to understand you, and that's also what this exam mimics. So, if everything goes well, you'll pass this with flying colors and are wondering, now what? So if you pass, then that's great. But that doesn't mean that you automatically get to leave for Finland right away, because that is not up to us. That is not something NLRC handles. So you have to ask TopMake, or very likely they will tell you. So we don't handle employment or deployment related matters. Our office does scan some of the documents for TopMake, just because we're more centrally located than they are. But as far as NLRC is concerned, you will continue with us in the A2 module. There are some changes in the A2 module compared to how we conducted our A0 and A1 modules, but the overall structure of the training remains the same. Onnea kokeeseen. Good luck with the exam. If you have any questions, you can type them in the NLRC and training channel on Discord. Moi moi!